Hey guys, this is Locke. In my last video, I showed you how to set up a tactical engraving. I showed you all the steps you needed to do from, getting the memory traces to going to the Nexus and how to set up a personalized custom tactical engraving. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use that tactical engraving to get a 200% attack boost for your entire team. So as I said in my previous video, the tactical engraving comes from the memory traces. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video because it's a lot to explain. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, please watch my previous video. But the tactical engraving comes from the memory traces, and the skills in the memory traces get passed on to the tactical engraving. There's a very specific set of skills called Inspire skills that can significantly boost the damage of your whole team. I'm going to remove this for a second. So if you go to the top right where it says sort and filter, if you click on that and then you click on this one where it says Inspire skills, you can see all of the memory traces that can give you an Inspire skill. So what is an Inspire skill? Let's click on one of them and read what it says. So an Inspire skill is it's a stacked buff of some kind that increases the damage by 10% for each stack that you have. And the stacks can go up to 20 stacks. So that basically can increase the damage of your entire team by 200% at max stacks. This is, in my opinion, a critical part of the game. Like, you should always make your tactical engraving with these Inspire stacks in mind, because this is a huge boost. I think this is the biggest boost in this game than anything else. I mean, it's next to 200% of damage, right? So if you happen to do 100 damage before, now you're doing 300. It's 200% increase. It doesn't go from 100 to 200. That's only 100% increase. It goes from 100 to 300. So as you can see, that is probably the biggest boost of damage in the game. So I think it's actually really critical that you get this correct. So the activation for the Inspire is limited. Like, there are certain things that will activate the Inspire stacks, but once you have them activated, it applies for everybody on your team. All the Echomancers, regardless of whatever was needed to activate it, all Echomancers will benefit from these Inspire stacks once you have them. Let's take a look at one of these to show you an example. So this one. So it says that whenever you cast a combo skill, all Echomancers gain 4 stacks of Inspire. Now there's only a couple of Echomancers that can cast combo skills. They're usually like skirmishers or rangers. So if you have this memory trace to create your engraving and you don't have any skirmishers or rangers that can create combo skills, that can use combo skills, then it's a waste because you're not going to ever activate it, right? So you need to bring the heroes that can activate this Inspire skill. But once you have activated, like, say you bring somebody and they cast a combo skill, and now you have 4 stacks of Inspire. Now that 4 stacks of Inspire is going to benefit everybody on your team, including heroes that you switch in. Like, when you use your backup heroes and you switch, maybe the skirmisher that you're using is not really powerful. So once you have used a combo skill, you switch them out, but the Inspire skill stays. So even the Echomancers that you get from the backup, they will also benefit from these Inspire skills. So let's talk about some general things. So when I looked at all of the skill descriptions for these Inspire skills, these R ones, in my opinion, were pretty terrible. So I don't think you should look at them. Like, if you don't have anything better, I mean, I guess you're kind of forced to. But I think there's a lot of even SR traces that you're given. So I think most people should probably be able to make 20 stacks with the SR cards that they're given. There is one SR card that's applicable to any team that you use, and that one is the Happy Hour. If you read the description, it gives you 1 stack of Inspire every 80 seconds, and it goes up to 10 stacks. All the cards, regardless of SSR or SR, they go up to 10 stacks. So to get 20 stacks, you really ideally want to bring 2 of these traces that can give you the 20 stacks. So this one gives you 10, and maybe another one gives you 10. This one is not actually that fantastic. I think it's good to use if you don't have anything better. Like, it's a good one if you don't have any idea what you're doing and you're not sure what kind of team you should be building, I think this is a great starter one. The downside of using this card, this trace, is that you will only get the maximum benefit on the 80th second. So that's, more than a minute into gameplay, a minute and 20 seconds. Sometimes that's a bit late, it would be good if you can get it faster, right? So, but if you don't have anything better, like I think this is a good one to start with. I think for most new players that you're beginning out your teams, you haven't really decided how you're going to build your team. I think this will work fantastic for you because this is still going to give you stacks. Even if the game ends after 40 seconds, you've already benefited from 5 stacks. That's an extra 50% damage that you didn't have before. So I think this is a good starter card. All the other cards usually have some kind of condition attached to it. So you really want to bring somebody that can satisfy the condition to take advantage of the card. Let's take a look at some of them. Like, for example, Nightmare. So this one gives you a barrier skill. It gives you a secondary effect. All Echomancers take 10% reduced damage. So that's fantastic. Even if you don't use the Inspire skill, you're already taking 10% reduced damage. So that's great. In addition to that, if a Water Echomancer casts a barrier skill, you get 4 stacks of Inspire. Now, there's only a few Water Echomancers out there, and even fewer Echomancers that is Water and cast a barrier skill. I only know of one right now. I mean, I don't know all of the Echomancers in detail yet, but the one that I can think of is her. So she's able to cast a barrier skill, and she's also the water type. So if you're bringing her and you're bringing that memory trace, then you're good to go because you're able to get up to 10 stacks at level 3, and you just now have to find one other trace that you're able to get the other 10 stacks from. So likewise, all the other traces, they have some kind of condition attached to it, whether they are SSR or SR. But because of the number of them that you have, I think that most people should be able to find at least one other card alongside the Happy Hour to take advantage of making a tactical engraving with 20 stacks. I can give you some examples of how to set this up for the banner characters right now, because I feel like a lot of people will probably be pulling for those banner characters. So why don't I show you examples of how to create it for the banner characters right now. So if you're using her as your leader, you want to be using this card. This is an awesome card, and it is also on the banner to proc her skill, because as you can see, you get 2 Inspire stacks every time you use a active or seed skill that can buff, summon, or recover. So healers will benefit from it, like buffing type heroes will benefit from it, and of course she will benefit from it as well because she summons. So every time she summons, you use the summon skill, you get 2 stacks of Inspire. Now, you might not want to pull on this banner because you might have limited currency. You might want to instead focus on other heroes. You already have some memory traces anyway, so maybe pulling on the trace is a low priority for you. And to be honest, right now that's probably okay, because if you take a look at your friend traces, right, as you can see, a lot of people have that trace. Like, even if I refresh this, there's always like many people that have that trace already, so you can just use a friend's trace for this one and still benefit from it. And as I said in my previous video, like, once you've created this tactical engraving, it stays with you. Like, even if this person decides to unfriend you or something, or they change their memory trace that they're using such that this no longer comes up, once you have the tactical engraving, it's there, it's yours, and you can just use it. So you can use this, and you can use what I just talked about, which is Happy Hour, to get your 20 stacks, right? The one caveat here is that as you're going into the Nexus and as you're playing through, your skills start at level 1. So this one will start at level 1, which can only give you 4 stacks of Inspire. But once you upgrade that skill to level 2, you can get to 7 stacks, and then level 3 to get to the 10 stacks. The same with both of these. So both of these cards, you have to actually increase the level of them from 1 to 3. And sometimes as you're playing through, it just doesn't give you a chance to upgrade these cards. It tells you to upgrade something else. And honestly, I mean, that's okay in my opinion. because you'll probably be running these like pretty often, right? I mean, as you're leveling up your characters, as you're leveling up your traces, and they're getting stronger, you want to maximize these stats anyway. So you'll probably be running them quite a few times. And as you level up, like more of these stages keep getting unlocked. Like this one called Hallen Streets was just unlocked for me when I hit level 30. So now I have to run these heroes through this path to unlock the reputation buffs and rewards associated with it here. So I will be running these things even if I had a perfect memory engraving, even if I had a perfect engraving, I will still be running this anyway because I have to, run these through all these paths. So even if I don't get a perfect one, it's okay because at some point, as I'm running them over and over again, I will get it. And I will be running them over and over again because I'm getting these spirits every single day for free. One of them is given to me for free, and then I'm also getting another spirit enhancer that I can save or use once a day for free as well. So I'll be using this a lot, and as I'm using it a lot, and actually as you level up your memory traces, it also gets easier to boost and boost them to get extra stats from them, and also activate the different skills that you want. So for this character, this is an easy way you can set up your engraving such that she's able to, such that your team is able to activate 20 stacks of Inspire. For the other character that's on the banner right now, Laurel, she actually has a interesting skill that's already going to make this a little bit easier. That's not the case with her. Like if you look at her skills, none of her skills are going to give you additional stacks of Inspire, but Laurel does have a skill that does that. So she has a skill called Corrosive Inspire. And if you're not familiar with what corrosion does, there's a type in the game where maybe I'll just take a second to show you. If you take a look at here, so there are different elements, right? So corrosion is one type of element, and what happened to? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so there we go. So corrosion is one type of element, and as these heroes attack enemies, you will see on the top right corner of the screen there is a counter that goes up to 100. And every time it goes to 100, all enemies on the field take damage, and that damage is called a corrosion blast. So anytime that blast happens, with her leader skill, let me just go back here. With her leader skill, anytime that blast happens, she gains 2 stacks of Inspire. And this can go up to level 10, but it can only go up to level 10 once your main character is level 33 and she has the 5th extension. Until then, you're stuck at level 2, so you can only get up to 7 stacks. But even if you using this and, even if you're stuck at level 7, I think it's still pretty good because already that's 70%. And if you have another card that's giving you 10 more stacks, that's 170% of attack, right? You can wait until you get to level 33, or you can even use another card, which is the Illusion of Flowers, which is an SR card that you can bring along to get this unlocked to the 3rd level. So you can do that as well if you want. So there are other heroes like that have these Inspire skills already within them. So even if you don't have the cards, the memory traces, you might be able to get away with using these heroes to get the same effect. One such example is this card, Nightmare. Nightmare has a skill called Barrier Water, which I just talked about actually. So this Barrier Water, whenever a Water Echomancer casts a barrier skill, you get 4 stacks of Inspire. Now check this out. This person also has the exact same skill. It's Barrier Water. So even if I don't have that memory trace, right, I can still get the same effect by using her as a leader. And there are even like some lower level, lower variety leaders that have skills like that. Like for example, this guy who is a 5-star hero, he has, if you bring 2 or more Fire Echomancers, you get Inspire. And even like, I think there are some of these guys as well. Yeah, so her. She is a 4-star hero, right? But if you have 2 or more water Echomancers on the field, you get a stack of Inspire every 6 seconds. So you can use these heroes as well as your memory traces to make sure you get 20 stacks. So, a bit of planning here goes a long way, because you want to make sure that whatever card you build ends up having your 20 stacks of Inspire. And if your heroes happen to not be level 33 yet and you're using heroes, okay, fine, then they'll be level 17 instead of 20, but that's going to give you a huge boost. And once you create this tactical engraving, like I can show you examples of ones that I've created, like this one. This has level 3 of the tactical upgrade, which gives you 10 stacks of Inspire. And I also have Barrier Water, which gives you another 10 stacks. So that's 20 stacks. Now I can bring this engraving into any content that I want. Like if I'm doing this, this boss fight here, I can bring this in. Let me just see. As you can see, I can bring this in to make sure my heroes all benefit from an extra 200% of damage. All I have to do to activate it is to cast these supporting, healing, and summoning skills, basically, to build up my stacks to 20 really fast, and then I'm doing 200% of damage. And I can do that in basically any content that I want. Like if I'm having a hard time, even in the Nexus itself, right? If I'm having a hard time fighting these Nexus bosses, because in the beginning they actually seemed really challenging, but once I figured out this trick about the Inspire, usually when I get to the final boss, I usually have maybe between 11 to 20 stacks already. So that's going to obviously increase the damage output I do significantly, right? At least double the damage that I do. So after that, fighting these bosses became pretty easy, because I just, kill them very quickly before they destroy my, whatever that thing is called. Like, the thing that if they destroy, the game is over. So before they destroy before they destroy my terminal, I can easily kill them. I just use a lot of skills and kill them pretty fast. So I can use them in the Nexus, I can use them in the world, I can use them in elite stages, I can use them just about anywhere. I think the only place I cannot use them consistently is some content where it's like, I think it's this one, yeah, the joint training, where I have to bring like very specific heroes. Like for example, suppose I built Laurel, right? And in this one, I can only use somebody that's a ranger or a skirmisher. So I have to build one tactical engraving that's, Vanguard, Bulwark, Striker, a different one that's tactical and support, and then a different one that's skirmisher or ranger. And then as you do this, you'll realize that you actually have to do it like multiple times. So I will end up having to build like 9 characters right now to get, to build out 9 different engravings to be actually able to do this. And eventually it seems like I have another 3 that I need over here. So I end up needing 12 different engravings. So as I said, like you will be doing this content over and over. So even if on the first try, second try, whatever, you don't get the perfect tactical engraving with 20 Inspire stacks, that's okay, because at some point you will have to redo it anyway, and at some point you will eventually get it. Like I had to do it several times as well. Like if you notice here, there were some really good engravings that had a very high score that just don't have 20 stacks. So then I had to redo it, right? And so I had to do it over and over. And now I'm building these engravings on other characters, because I have 2 that I really like, which have the max stats of Inspire. This one, and I think it was this one. Yeah, no, it's not. So this one is missing one. So the tactical engraving only goes to level 2. I think the other one was actually this one. Yeah, so I have 2, which one of them is this one, and the other one is this one, that have 20 stacks of Inspire. So now I'm trying to work on getting other characters to have max Inspire stacks to do this content where I need to have 9 different tactical engravings built out, right? So I hope this video helps, because I think this is a huge boost in your damage. Like if you're building these without taking these Inspire stacks into account, you're leaving so much damage on the table that you're just not taking advantage of. I think this game is, a lot of it has to do with team building. Even like, when you look at the FAQs, the element system is huge, right? Like it's going to give you so much damage to build heroes that will take advantage of these like different reactions and things like that. So it looks like it's really built in that you really need to think about team building. But even before you think about the team building, the Echomancer side of the team building, I think it's even more important for us to get the inspire things done. Because even if you figure out the perfect elemental reaction to get extra amount of damage, and you don't get the 200 damage bonus from inspire, like I think overall you're losing out a lot more damage by not taking the inspire stacks into account. So I think the first thing you want to do when you're building these tactical engravings is to make sure you have a way to get the 20 stacks of inspire. Otherwise, I feel like you're just in a way handicapping yourself. I think the game is built to be such that you take those 20 stacks into account while you're building out your team. So with that said in mind, I think this video hopefully helps a lot of you guys to build out your tactical engravings. If you have any questions or if something is unclear, please let me know. And if I've missaid anything as well, let me know as well. This is a new game for me, so there might be some mistakes I'm making or something that I'm not taking into account. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But that's it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care now. Bye.